Okay, let's dive right into this explainer where we're going to explore some truly fascinating places on Earth that seemingly break the laws of physics and honestly, scientifically, just shouldn't exist. We wake up every day relying on the predictable laws of nature, right? We know gravity is going to keep our feet firmly planted on the ground, we know water puts out fires, and we expect inanimate objects to stay exactly where we left them. It's kind of comforting to think we have a solid grasp on how our planet works, but as you'll see, nature isn't always so well behaved.
So what if I told you those fundamental rules aren't always followed? Just imagine a world where gravity seemed to pull up instead of down, where water could instantly ignite fires, or where incredibly heavy boulders just moved completely on their own without a single ounce of human intervention. Seriously, picture massive 300-pound rocks taking a quiet, deliberate stroll right across a dry desert floor while nobody is looking. It sounds totally absurd, doesn't it? It literally feels like something straight out of a bizarre sci-fi novel.
Welcome to Earth's impossible anomalies. Today, we're diving into 3 completely bizarre locations that look so profoundly alien, they're going to challenge everything you thought you knew about how our natural world actually operates. These aren't just quirky tourist traps, guys. These are real, physical places that have had brilliant geologists and researchers fiercely arguing for decades over how they can even exist. They're basically our planet's ultimate glitch in the matrix.
Section 1. The Neon Blue Volcano.
Let's kick things off with the element of fire. We're heading over to Indonesia, where a volcano named Kawah Ijen completely shatters our visual expectations of what a geological eruption is supposed to look like. When you picture an active volcano, your brain immediately goes to bright, glowing orange and red magma violently bubbling up, right? Well, Kawah Ijen absolutely did not get that memo. Instead, when the sun goes down, it spews out these massive rivers of electric, glowing blue flames. It transforms the whole landscape into this sci-fi dreamscape that looks like it belongs on Jupiter or something.
So, what's the secret behind this? It actually comes down to some incredibly intense, highly volatile chemistry going on deep within the Earth. This specific volcano pockets massive amounts of pure sulfuric gas deep within its rocky cracks. And when that highly pressurized gas aggressively rises up and hits the oxygen-rich air at blistering temperatures of over 600 degrees Celsius, it violently ignites. To put that extreme heat into perspective, that is literally hot enough to instantly melt solid lead. But here is the real kicker, and what's truly mind-blowing. Nature is essentially playing the role of the ultimate illusionist here. This whole thing is a brilliant optical illusion created by the continuous chemical reaction of burning sulfur rather than actual blue-colored magma. The lava underneath, it's completely normal. It's glowing red-hot like any other volcano. But the aggressive reaction of the sulfur creates this blinding display that completely overpowers the red magma, masking it in an electric neon glow.
Section 2. Peru's Deadly Boiling River.
Next, let's switch gears and look at the element of water. We're traveling deep, deep into the lush, vibrant Amazon rainforest of Peru to find Chene Tempishka. This is a steaming, menacing river that can literally cook you alive. Thick, heavy clouds of steam constantly shroud the surrounding jungle, and local shamans have historically considered this site to be sacred and deeply protected. The water is so extraordinarily hot that any canopy leaves, small animals, or, unfortunately anything else that happens to slip into the current meets an immediate and terrible fate.
The waters here reach scalding, terrifying extremes of over 93 degrees Celsius. That's about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Just to give you some everyday context, water reaches a full rolling boil at 100 degrees Celsius. So this river is constantly hovering right at that agonizingly hot, bubbling threshold. If a person were to accidentally step in, the intense heat would cause third-degree burns in a matter of seconds. It's basically a massive, deadly, natural cauldron running right through the heart of the jungle.
Now here's what elevates this from a weird geographical oddity to a complete scientific mystery. Boiling rivers do actually exist elsewhere, but they almost always require nearby active volcanoes to provide that extreme subterranean energy. But the closest active volcano to this Peruvian river? It's a staggering 700 kilometers away. That's roughly the same driving distance as a road trip from New York City all the way to Toronto, Canada. Scientifically speaking, a natural heat source this intense just shouldn't be sitting right in the middle of a non-volcanic jungle.
So how is this happening? Well, the answer lies in an invisible, ancient plumbing system perfectly engineered by the Earth itself. It's a fascinating 3-step geothermal process. First, heavy rainfall seeps incredibly deep down into the Earth's porous crust. Then, it travels far enough toward the mantle to be superheated by the planet's own natural immense geothermal energy. And finally, that boiling water rapidly shoots back up to the surface through deep, pressurized fault lines. Nature basically built its very own high-speed water heater.
Section 3. Death Valley's Moving Boulders.
For our final stop, let's explore the Earth itself. We're heading out to the vast, punishingly dry expanse of Death Valley, California, to investigate heavy boulders that travel hundreds of feet completely on their own. For decades, scientists were just totally baffled by these massive rocks. I mean, some of these boulders weigh well over 300 pounds. Picture trying to push a fully grown black bear across a desert floor. Yet they were leaving these long, very distinct tracks trailing behind them in the dry dirt, proving they had somehow traveled vast distances across this ancient lake bed.
Because literally no one had ever caught them moving on camera, people's imaginations naturally ran wild. It became one of geology's ultimate whodunits. And frankly, scientists got a little desperate for answers. Researchers and onlookers ended up blaming everything from localized magnetic fields and elaborate practical jokes to, outright extraterrestrial activity. You know a scientific mystery is deeply frustrating when leading experts start playfully entertaining the idea of aliens coming down just to rearrange rocks in the California desert.
But it turns out the real scientific answer is this incredibly delicate process. It's a literal perfect storm of very specific, very rare conditions. Step 1. On freezing winter nights, a paper-thin sheet of ice forms on the desert floor. Step 2. When the sun comes up, that ice begins to melt and shatter into large floating panels. And step 3, just a mere whisper of a light breeze is enough to push these massive rocks as they glide frictionlessly on those icy panels across the slippery mud beneath. Once the desert dries back up, boom, the dragging trail is permanently etched right into the dirt.
Section 4. The Science of the Impossible.
The phenomenal locations we've explored today brilliantly illustrate why these seemingly impossible anomalies matter so much to our broader understanding of physics and geology. When the Earth breaks its own rules, it forces us to look closer, to dig deeper, and completely challenge our own assumptions. What you should really take away from this is that our planet's magic is often just incredible science we haven't fully explained yet. Magic is really just the placeholder word we use until science catches up.
So, to wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. Out of the electrochemical fire of the neon blue volcano, the superheated water of the boiling jungle river, or the drifting earth of the sailing stones in Death Valley, which mystery fascinated you the most? We really don't have to look to science fiction to find the impossible, we just have to look at the ground beneath our feet. Keep questioning what you think is possible and keep exploring.